Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering another important topic in recruitment, sourcing. We're going to be covering what sourcing is, why it's important, and tools and websites that I've used in the past that have helped me best identify the best candidates for my clients. Now, we're only going to be covering a few of them, right? So I would love to hear from you in the comment sections. If there's something that's not mentioned here of where you've been able to best identify candidates, drop it down in the comment section. We definitely want to hear from you. And as always, if you find value in this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and share this with a fellow recruiter. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. Sourcing in recruitment. Today in our agenda, we're going to be talking about what to do before you start sourcing, what is sourcing, for those of you that don't know, why it's important, where do you source, some of the websites that I've used like LinkedIn and Indeed to be able to source, creating project, next steps, and being able to conclude. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michael Portillo. I am located in Orange County, California. I have about 6 years of full cycle recruitment experience. A lot of the industries that I've worked in have been more in technology, accounting and finance, C-suite, and human resources. I've had the pleasure of being able to train multiple people, and those people that I've been able to train have become top billers and performers at multiple companies that they've worked at, right? Currently, right now, I am working as a recruitment manager. I am in the field recruiting. So, as of today, if you're watching this video, I am giving you my latest techniques, sharing with you the latest tips and tools that I'm using as of today, right? And as a recruiting manager, I'm also helping with training at my current company. So again, a lot of the tools and ideas and tips that I provide are tools that I'm providing to my team as well. And then I'm helping with people management, right? I do love to be able to see people grow and move into, senior positions as well. Being able to see them, get better at screening, better at sourcing, and just evolving in the recruitment industry. A little bit about myself, I love to spend time with friends and family. That first picture you see on the left, that is me on the top right. That was at Dumbo in New York. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dumbo in New York, but that was a trip that, me and my brother did with my mom for her 50th birthday, which was super cool. And then as you can see at the bottom, that's a friend's wedding. So I love, being with friends, family, traveling, sports, and music as well. So I just wanted to provide a little bit about myself before we get started. Now let's go ahead and get started. Before sourcing, right? Before you start sourcing, you definitely want to have a plan. You want to be prepared. As I've mentioned in a different video, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm a huge believer in that. So let's talk about what you should be doing before sourcing. Prior to initiating the sourcing process, it's important to be able to conduct a thorough job intake discussion with the hiring manager. Now, I made a video about how to perfect and how to do a job intake discussion with the hiring manager. I'll put a video to the link somewhere around here. In this initial step, if this initial step hasn't been taken and you're only relying on a job description for sourcing, I would recommend you stop recruiting on the role immediately. Reason for this is some job descriptions may lack and have gaps of critical information that you may need. So to maintain best practices, I really recommend, not working on any requisitions unless you or a trusted team member have completed a job intake, right? So if you are watching this video and you don't have the notes from a job intake, right? Make sure you stop working on the requisition, go to your manager or a senior recruiter, maybe a sales representative or account executive at your company for the intake notes that were taken for the specific job that you're going to be working. Now, let's move into what is sourcing. Essentially, sourcing and recruiting refers to the process of being able to identify, attract, and engage with potential candidates for specific job openings within an organization. This involves being able to find qualified candidates who you think may be a good fit for a specific role, and then through that, you will encourage them to consider applying or getting interest in the position. Why is this important? Conducting targeting searches using different sources allows you as a recruiter to identify potential candidates who can meet the job requirements. So Essentially, guys, the goal of sourcing is to essentially build a pool of candidates from different channels. Some of those channels are going to be job boards, which we'll talk about a few, social media, professional networks, industry events, referrals, and other platforms. Recruiters like yourself or sourcing specialists search for candidates with the required skills, qualifications, and experience to fill current or future job vacancies, right? So this is going to be dependent on your industry, the company you come from. In the next slide, we will talk about where you source, but just keep in mind, each industry varies of where you're going to be sourcing. So where do you source? There are multiple options for sourcing. Below, we list a few of those popular places for sourcing. So first off, job boards and websites, right? Platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, Glassdoor are popular for job openings and attracting candidates. You yourself are probably using one of these platforms, or as a recruiter, or have used it as a person who's searching for employment, right? Internal databases, depending on the company you work for, you should have an internal database. It's very important for you to familiarize yourself with how to source candidates on this database. Networking events and job fairs. Attending job fairs or networking events can provide opportunities to meet potential candidates. So if you just graduated from college, you probably saw job fairs or networking events. I am a huge believer. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So networking events are very, very important to be able to meet people. They are a little bit more of an old school, I would say more of an old school practice. However, they're still valuable. There's still a lot of value in being able to attend networking events and job fairs, especially if you're just graduating out of college. Employee referrals. Encouraging current employees to refer qualified candidates can be a highly effective way to find candidates, often leading to hires that fit well within the organization culture, right? And what's really cool is I think a lot of your employers, right, will go ahead and do what they call an employee referral bonus. So if you refer somebody and they get the job and are there for a certain time period, I think a lot of them are 90 days, they'll pay you for that. So make sure if you're working at a specific company that you ask about your employee referral program. Direct applications, accepting direct applications through your company's email or application system. So this is if you're working as an internal recruiter, or even if you are working as an agency recruiter, some of you will be able to have access to be able to post your position online, and applicants will be able to directly apply to those positions going into your applicant tracking system. So get familiar with what your applicant tracking system. It's really important to identify how you can source through those direct applications. In the next few slides, what we're going to be doing is just focusing on specific job boards that I have used on a daily basis. Now, again, as I mentioned in the intro, if you've used other sources to be able to identify candidates, please add it in the comments. We really value where you're finding your candidates. So first things first, LinkedIn. If you haven't heard of LinkedIn, please pay attention. LinkedIn is a platform designed for professional networkers, right? For professional networking. Recruiters as yourself can connect with a vast network of professionals, including potential candidates, fellow recruiters, hiring managers, and industry influencers. Guys, I spend about 80% of my time on LinkedIn. We'll talk about a tool where I spend a lot more of my time, but LinkedIn is going to be where a lot of you will be on, right? So we'll talk a little bit about what LinkedIn is and some of its special features and tools that it provides. So with LinkedIn, you can connect, interact, and engage with each other, right? So you can connect with people you may know. You can interact with them by messaging and engage with each other, which is really cool. It also allows the individual like yourself to create a professional profile showcasing your work experience, skills, education, accomplishments. So it's very familiar to, a social media platform where you can go ahead and add a professional picture of yourself, talk a little bit about your work experience, skills, educations, and accomplishments. You as a user can connect with colleagues, peers, industry professionals, and potential employees, right? So it's really important if you do have a LinkedIn that you connect with everybody in your firm, right? It's also really cool to be able to connect with, friends that maybe you went to college with, high school with, and similar professionals within your industry that share this common goal and common interest. Is really cool to be able to connect with those. LinkedIn also provides a platform for sharing content, participating in discussions, and building a professional online presence. Now let's talk about LinkedIn Recruiter. This is not to get confused with LinkedIn now. LinkedIn Recruiter is a specialized tool provided by LinkedIn for recruiters and talent acquisition professionals. So this is an additional feature or add-on from what regular LinkedIn is. LinkedIn Recruiter is a little bit different. It's a subscription-based service that offers advanced features and tools to help recruiters like yourself find, connect with, and manage potential candidates for job openings. LinkedIn Recruiter provides enhanced search capabilities, analytics, and communication tools tailored for the recruitment process. I just want to let you know that LinkedIn Recruiter has two different offerings. The main differences between the plans are the amount of search filters, the monthly amount of in-mails, and obviously they vary in prices as well. Team, I want to let you know that about 95% of my placements have come from LinkedIn, right? Specifically, if you're working in, a tech company, accounting and finance, human resources, C-suite, this is where a lot of professionals will be on. So if you do not have a LinkedIn Recruiter and you fall under one of those industries, I would highly suggest that you have a LinkedIn Recruiter. Now we'll talk about some of the features in the next slide, but again, I just want to highlight the importance of LinkedIn Recruiter. This is where I do spend a lot of time. I've been able to, really take the time to look into my LinkedIn profile, learn what LinkedIn is, and it is a valuable tool. So some of the key features of LinkedIn Recruiter. As I've mentioned, LinkedIn offers multiple features that empower recruiters to efficiently source, engage, and manage candidates, helping organizations find the best talent for their teams and job openings. Please keep in mind, as I've mentioned, that these features depend on the type of recruiting license or subscription that you have. Let's talk about some of the features, right? Enhanced search capabilities. LinkedIn Recruiter allows for different type of search filters and algorithms that allow you as a recruiter to target specific candidate profiles based on various criteria such as skills, location, industry experience, and many more. You also get in-mail credits. So in-mail is a messaging feature that allows for recruiters to reach out to candidates directly. It's kind of like a direct message, if you would think of Instagram. You're sending somebody a DM, right? A direct message. And LinkedIn Recruiter provides a certain amount of in-mail credits each month depending on the subscription level. So if you do sign up for LinkedIn, each month you will get a number of credits specifically tailored to the license that you have. Team collaboration, it enables collaboration among recruiting teams, allows them to share profiles, notes, and information about the candidates. You can go ahead and manage the pipeline that's coming in, right? So it helps in organizing and managing a pipeline of potential candidates for future job openings. And then it also allows for job postings and branding. So allows for recruiters to post job openings, enhance the visibility of their organization, and attract potential candidates. Now, LinkedIn and LinkedIn Recruiter together play a crucial role in modern recruitment strategies. This is a big platform that has helped me engage with qualified candidates and, find more targeted candidates in a efficient manner. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn Recruiter, the corporate and professional services, and then LinkedIn Lite. So LinkedIn Recruiter, the corporate and professional services, it starts at the time of this video, it starts at $10,800 annually or $1,800 per month. So pricing may vary based on the size and requirements of your organization. If you inquire about a LinkedIn Recruiter license, you'll have a LinkedIn representative walk you through the whole process, and they're most likely going to go ahead and guide you as to what license is going to be best for you. Profile access. So LinkedIn Recruiter, the corporate and professional services, provides full access to candidate profiles, enabling a comprehensive view of candidates' experience, skills, recommendation, and more. With in-mails, as we talked, you get a certain amount of them per month. So with this license, you get 150 in-mails every month. LinkedIn Recruiter in-mails provides a response guarantee. What that means is if a candidate doesn't respond within 7 days, the in-mail credit is refunded, allowing the recruiter to use it for another outreach attempt. Now, something that's not mentioned here is that you'll also get a credit back if the candidate responds, right? So if you target and send an in-mail to a candidate and they respond, LinkedIn will go ahead and reimburse you for that in-mail. So that's a completely different conversation that we can have another time. Search, right? 40 search filters such as keywords, locations, current and past companies, industries, and many more. It allows you for collaboration, so you can do multi-user account, allowing you to create and share projects with your team. Reports, it provides reports on email reporting plus insights into your recruiter pipeline, usage, and performance summaries. Let's talk about LinkedIn Recruiter Lite. So LinkedIn Recruiter Lite is a little bit less in terms of pricing. So it is $1,680 annually or $576 a month. Pricing may vary based on the size and requirements of the organization. Again, this is based off today. The pricing may have changed as of now. Profile access, it only finds the first, second, and third connections. It doesn't find people outside of your network. InMails, you only get about 30 InMails every month. So as I've mentioned to you, they have that response guarantee. Compared to LinkedIn Corporate, where they have about 40 search filters, LinkedIn Lite does 20 search filters. There isn't any options for collaboration and no options for LinkedIn Recruiter. So again, before you purchase a LinkedIn Recruiter license, it is important to identify what's going to be most important to your organization to be successful. And I would definitely recommend you speak with a LinkedIn representative to walk you through this process. Now, that is all on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about another platform that I've used in the past to really help me. Indeed. Indeed for me has been super helpful as well. As I mentioned, not all my placements have come from LinkedIn. Indeed for me has been more for, those people in the high volume positions, right? These are, maybe accounting and financing positions, but also tailored to more of those blue collared positions. At least this is how I have seen it and have essentially tailored my searches. This is not to knock anybody who uses Indeed for tech, for accounting and finance C-suite. It's just what I've been able to see when I look at Indeed. It's been more of the volume roles. These are warehouse positions, clean room positions, assembly positions, CNC machinist. Clean room I mentioned, CNC machinist. It's more for that high volume position where your company or your client is going to need to essentially hire maybe 20 people in the next week. Indeed has been very useful for that. So let's talk a little bit about Indeed. Indeed offers a recruiting platform as well, which is called Indeed for Employers. It's a suite of tools and services provided by Indeed. Again, it's a leading online job search platform specifically tailored to meet the needs of employers, hiring managers, recruiting professionals. It's designed to assist employers in sourcing, attracting, hiring top talent effectively. And below we list some of the features and aspects of Indeed for Employers. So job postings, Indeed does a great job with job postings where you can essentially make them visible to millions of job seekers who use the platform. Sponsored jobs, employers can promote their jobs listings through sponsored ads, increasing their visibility and attracting more candidates to their postings. Resume database access, so employers can access Indeed's extensive resume database, allowing them to search for candidates based on specific criteria such as skills, experience, location, and more. And for some people, it's also utilized as their ATS, their applicant tracking system. So what's really cool about Indeed, it lets employers allow them to integrate their existing ATS with Indeed's platform. So Indeed is super cool. I will say I think Indeed is more popular than LinkedIn for the job seeker. Again, I think Indeed is more popular and user-friendly for the job seeker. It's not like LinkedIn where you have to go ahead and create a profile, add a picture, add your experiences to connect with people. It's simply just, hey, I am looking for a job. Here's my resume, and these are my skills. It's super simple, super user-friendly. Again, it's just really depending on the industry that you work on and the job specifications that you're looking for. You're going to need to identify, am I going to use Indeed or LinkedIn Recruiter? Now, one thing that I find very important when utilizing both of these platforms, LinkedIn Recruiter and Indeed, is creating projects. Now, I am very, very strict with myself in being able to create projects with clear, detailed names to be able to manage my candidates effectively. So ideally, once you've identified candidates that you think are a fit for your position, you want to add them to a specific project, right? Ideally, I like to name the project based on the role, company, and location. So below, I've provided some examples. Let's say I was working on a software engineer for Apple Incorporated located in Cupertino that is on site. The project name for me would be software engineer Apple Cupertino, the location, right, on site. So if you see, I have the title of the role, the company that I'm recruiting for, and the location, and there I put on site as well. I'll give you guys another example. Let's say we're looking for an account executive for Nike in Beaverton, Oregon. This position's on site as well. We're going to go ahead and say it's an account executive Nike Beaverton, Oregon, and again, it's on site. The third example is for a supply chain manager. Let's say it's for Amazon and it's remote. I just simply go ahead and put supply chain manager, Amazon, and since this position is specifically remote, I just put remote. So again, when you start creating projects after you've added candidates that you think are a fit for the position, you want to be able to organize your projects clearly for you to be able to identify what roles you're working on and what candidates you've added on there. Best way for me has been just adding the role, the name of the role, the company, and the location. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, well, I've added them into a project. What do I do next? Once candidates are organized into projects, the next step is to initiate communication and engage with them effectively. LinkedIn has a specific messaging platform where you can go ahead and do that. The candidate can reply directly. They also have a mobile application. So if you need, ensure that you do download the LinkedIn Recruiter mobile application. It's super user friendly. I love it. I use it every single day. But essentially, their direct messaging platform is very similar to, Instagrams or Facebook. It's super user friendly. Indeed, on the other hand, I haven't used a mobile application for them. A lot of them have been more on their web page, on their website. Theirs is a little bit different. You can't, once you go ahead and reach out to the candidate, a lot of the information is masked, meaning it's hidden until the candidate accepts your invitation to communicate with them. So when reaching out to candidates, it's really essential to craft a personalized and compelling message to pique their interest and encourage further interaction, which is a topic that we'll train on in a next lesson, not this one, more about like email messaging and Indeed messaging. We can definitely talk about that in a next message. But again, today in conclusion, all we really wanted to talk about was, what to do before you start sourcing, what is sourcing, why it's important, where do you source. We talked a little bit about LinkedIn Recruiter, Indeed, creating projects, and once you create a project, how to, what to do, which is message the person. Before we finish, I want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear from you. I've added some of my contact information here in the comments. If you guys can add your tips and or feedback in the comment section, it'd be really useful. Again, if you found value in this in terms of being able to learn where to source or what is sourcing, definitely like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be providing a lot more information to help you become a top biller at your company, right? My Instagram is Michael Portillo. It's just my first name. And then if you want to connect via email, networkwithmichael@gmail.com. Definitely want to hear feedback from you. And that's it. Thank you so much for being able to join today's video. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with a fellow recruiter that you think may find this useful. Thank you.